Many times where you need to understand the status of a particular drawing or a part or an assembly in order to make logic decisions about what needs to change in it, or you're just looking to report information about it. So in this particular session, I've got a lot of parts and also a couple assemblies and some drawings active. And let's say that we want to determine whether a specific note exists within this content. So the way you do that is we're going to use the table function for notes and just run an exist function on there. The default on it's going to be the active model, and then you can also use a note name, and as you can see there with a wildcard if you want to. And then what we're going to write it to is my table. Learn to spell my table. Okay. So if I run this right now, you'll know that it says it's missing an argument. The reason it's missing an argument here is that it's expecting something. So if I just put in a wildcard and rerun that, that basically is asking, does the active model have any notes on it at all? And the answer to that is yes, true. It's true in this case. There are notes on that drawing. Next thing we could ask is say, well, okay, is there a note 2 on that drawing? And if we run this, it's going to connect to Creo and pull this data back across and write that to Excel. And we'll see here that the active model does not have a note 2 on it. We could, of course, extend this out to say, I'm looking for any drawing that has note 2 on it. So I can use a wildcard there. And when we run that, you'll notice that that's going to run anything in session. And it's actually indicating that note 2 does exist on 3 of the drawings, but 2 of them do not have it. So this is actually a quite handy feature. Very, very powerful. And you can, of course, kind of append data too. So you can say, okay, well, I'm interested also in parts. So if I want to look at drawings and parts and report those, you'll notice that it's come in and looked at the part files as a secondary pass after the drawings. And you'll notice that none of the parts, one of them does. One part has a note 2. Everything else does not. And the drawings, of course, have reported the way they are. You can also wildcard this too. So if we wanted to say, I'm looking for anything with, let's use that note 2 again as an example. Now this is actually changing the context a little bit. So it's not giving us a specific value that exists. It's just giving us a generic match. So this would match _2 or 20 or 200. So this is just a generic kind of check for, do we have anything that matches that note name? And it's giving us back the true falses. Once you have this information here, you can then use Power Query to kind of pivot off this to say, I'm only interested in the things that have information or don't, and then make whatever logic adjustments or updates you need to make from that point forward.